Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has criticized those questioning the government's efforts in helping to rebuild Gaza. According to Bernama, he said opposing such efforts was not in line with Islamic teachings, which encouraged Muslims to extend assistance to those in need, especially fellow believers within their means. Anwar said any decision he made was viewed as controversial by certain quarters that were dissatisfied with the government. He was quoted as saying that one group claims this is just play when the aid involves hundreds of millions. And then there are so-called intelligent individuals, former leaders, with one saying, "We have not even resolved our own school issues, yet we want to help others." He questioned what kind of mindset this is and said that in Islam, we are not taught to think like that. Anwar stressed that since World War II, the situation in Gaza has been one of the worst humanitarian catastrophes, and when we try to help even a little, the response is that we should solve our domestic issues first. He pointed out that until the end of time, domestic issues will never be fully resolved, as there will always be shortcomings somewhere, but said that we do what we can. Previously, Anwar announced that Malaysia would construct a school, hospital, and mosque as an initial effort in assisting Gaza's reconstruction. PKR's Department of Religious Understanding and Strengthening has criticized former International Trade and Industry Minister Rafida Aziz for questioning the government's humanitarian aid efforts in Gaza. Its director, Najib Abdul Razak, reportedly said that as an experienced figure in international relations, Rafida should not have made remarks that undermine Malaysia's assistance to Palestinians. Bernama quoted him as saying that Israel has never yielded to international pressure, especially on the two-state solution, despite the United Nations resolutions, and Rafida's statement is akin to waiting for the impossible. He added that the conditions set for Malaysia's assistance to Palestinians are nearly impossible to fulfill, given the history of the conflict. Amidi added that the very existence of Israel is disputed, and Malaysia has never recognized it, let alone sought a clear decision on land ownership in Palestine. Yesterday, Rafida suggested that the government focus on addressing the issues in Malaysia first, before rebuilding Gaza. Among others, she cited the sad state of rural schools, which are often highlighted in the media. Rafida also pointed out that the destruction in Gaza is upon disputed land, where entitlement to ownership has not been resolved, and until the relevant international arbitrating deciding bodies have made clear, indisputable decisions which must be adhered to, then any rebuilding efforts may come to naught. Malaysia recently announced the construction of Malaysia Waqaf City in Gaza, making it the first ASEAN country to initiate such a reconstruction effort. Four reform-based NGOs have stated that former Premier Najib Abdul Razak does not deserve any mercy, including pardon or home detention. In a joint statement following the one-year anniversary of what they labeled as a grand discount to Najib's sentencing, the NGOs pointed out that Najib still has other ongoing trials, including for criminal breach of trust and abuse of power. They said Najib has never admitted guilt in any of these cases, and instead he has repeatedly claimed he is a victim of political persecution. They added that he demands pardon and leniency in the punishment lawfully meted out to him in the SRC International case, while the three other cases are pending. The NGOs argued that before all of Najib's pending cases are concluded, and upon conviction, he admits guilt and seeks forgiveness, any decision to pardon him or substitute his prison time with home detention amounts to condoning and normalizing corruption. They also said such measures would only serve to promote and tolerate double standards within the society, where those well-connected get lesser punishment. The four NGOs are Project Stability and Accountability for Malaysia, Bersih, Institute for Democracy and Economic Affairs, and Himpunan Advokasi Rakyat Malaysia. The groups also listed 48 organizational endorsers and over 800 individuals. Yesterday, Malaysian Corruption Watch had said that Najib deserves an opportunity to redeem himself, and he should be given a chance at redemption and rehabilitation, just as everyone else. The UMNO Ulama Council has urged non-Muslim government leaders to exercise caution when commenting on matters related to Islam and Muslims. This is to prevent a negative perception that leads to certain parties exploiting the issue and framing it as a threat against Islam. In a statement today, it highlighted the ham and cheese sandwich that used a fake halal logo and the sale of liquor at Muslim-majority areas in Ipoh, Perak, as examples of the latest issue. The council added that the coalition government is the best model to foster racial harmony in Malaysia and urged all parties in the unity government to preserve the harmony and sensitivity of all races. The chicken sandwich and the alcohol ban are the latest in a series of altercations between UMNO, namely its youth chief Dr. Muhammad Akmal Saleh, and DAP and MCA leaders. Perikata National leaders had also commented on the issues. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim has hit out at certain quarters that made an issue about different ethnic groups in the country celebrating the festivals of other communities. In a speech today, he said it wasn't a problem before and is now being made into an issue.
Ada dibangkitkan ini, orang Melayu pergi raya Cina, tiba Cina pergi raya Melayu pergi Taipusam. Semua yang perkara yang puluh-puluh tahun tak jadi masalah, sekarang dikaitkan jadi masalah. Tapi kita nak layan itu atau nak fokus perpaduan kita? Kita boleh tanya. Pilihan kita. Kita nak pilih untuk terus ada perbezaan pendapat dan gaduh atau nak fokus perpaduan kita?
Instead, Anwar urged Malaysians to focus on the nation's progress and interests rather than issues that could undermine unity. He said the country should also serve as a model for strong racial unity, and there is no need to stir up conflicts. Inspector General of Police Razaruddin Hussain is seeking the Kuala Lumpur High Court's leave to commence contempt of court proceedings against Wan Muhammad Azri Wan Deris, or Papa Gomo, over an alleged contravention of an injunction order. The injunction order, issued by the court on January 10th, was meant to prevent Wan Azri from issuing defamatory statements pending the disposal of Razaruddin's main defamation suit against him. Razaruddin filed the application in his personal capacity and is seeking damages over the allegation that he was a lackey of Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim. When met by Malaysia Kini at the Kuala Lumpur Courts complex this morning, Wan Azri's counsel, Muhammad Rafiq Rashid Ali, revealed that Razaruddin's legal team filed the contempt leave application on Friday last week. Rafiq said the court has set an ex parte hearing on February 10th to decide whether Razaruddin can get leave to proceed with the committal application. When contacted by Malaysia Kini, Razaruddin's counsel Ram Kumar confirmed they are seeking leave to proceed with the contempt proceedings. Ram said the application is linked to a few purported statements by Azri that allegedly contravened the injunction order. Home Minister Saifuddin Nasution Ismail has suggested amending existing laws to allow peaceful assemblies without requiring a lengthy approval process. He reportedly said that the law on peaceful assembly was enacted in 2012, and perhaps an approval process is not necessary if there is a designated area for assemblies. He was quoted by Berita Harian as saying that it is still necessary for organizers to inform the police about the planned assembly, and the police should provide security in the area. Saifuddin stated that the government has never wavered on the right to assemble, as enshrined in the federal constitution. He said the current government remains committed to defending and upholding the rights stated in the Constitution, including the right to freedom of assembly as guaranteed under Article 10, bracket 1, bracket B. Saifuddin added that when the police issue statements regarding compliance with regulations, it does not mean that the government is against assemblies being held. He said when the police communicate, it shouldn't be assumed that assemblies are not allowed, as this creates the perception that the government does not permit assemblies. Elaborating, he said, for example, when the police inform about the location of an assembly, if the location belongs to a private owner, the law requires you to obtain permission first.